Okay, guys, the purpose of this video is to go over the lesson that you had for homework yesterday titled How Do You Multiply Three-Digit Numbers by Two-Digit Numbers? And it goes from pages 106 all the way to 108, numbers 1 through 28, I believe. And we are going to get started. Very simple. Remember that your keywords that you got to use for this lesson are the keywords for this lesson are going to be using factors. Those are the numbers that you multiply together and then that you get an answer as a product. We also call that product a multiple. All right, so all of these problems are going to ask you to first come up with an estimate, and then of course use that estimate to see if your actual product is close to, or are they, if they're close together. All right, in other words, what they say is if the answer that you get is reasonable. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to get started with number 1. And look at the instructions. It says 1 through 4. Find each product. Estimate to check that your answer is reasonable. Well, let's get going with that. The numbers are already ready for us. First, let's go ahead and get that estimation first. Because of the 3, the 2 stays the same. And because of that 6, the 4 goes up to 50. You multiply, put your 3 extra zeros there and down. And then 5 times 2 is 10. So your estimate is 10,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that 10,000 on the side, right? Remember, that's what we call our estimate. And then we're going to actually come up with our product for the 3-digit times a 2-digit number. Now, interesting fact about your STAR math test for this year that you're going to take at the end is that you will be multiplying 3-digit by 2-digit numbers, but you will never multiply a 4-digit number times another number. All right. Now, so get that clear through your heads, guys. Is again, you're going to multiply 3-digit times a 2-digit in a STAR. You can even multiply 2-digit times a 1-digit, but you will never multiply a 4-digit by any other number. Okay, at least not in 5th grade. Okay, let's get going. 6 times 6 is 36. Bring down the 6 and carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 more is 21. Bring down the 1, carry the 2 to the hundreds place. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. There's your first partial product. And then let's go ahead and multiply your, before we go on, I know some of you like to put your zeros in your ones place before you do anything, so let's do that. And then of course we multiply 4 times 6, which is 24. Bring down the 4, carry the 2 over the 3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. Add your two partial products. 6 plus nothing is 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 4 is 8. And 9 plus 1 is 10. So there's your actual, right? Remember, that's your actual result. And this is your estimate. Is your answer, it says estimate to check that your answer is reasonable, where our estimate is 10,000 and our actual answer or product is 10,856. So is this reasonable? Well, the answer is yes, because they're close. All right. Let's move on to number 2. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger there so that way I have more space to write. And again, first let's estimate. Because of that 2, we're going to round that off to 400. Because of that 1, we're going to round off this 61 to 60. Multiply, you got 3 extra zeros, 1, 2, 3. So put them down, 1, 2, 3. And multiply 6 times 4, which is 24,000. All right, so let's go ahead and try and multiply our problem over here now. And we're going to multiply by 1. So that's easy. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 4 is 4. Put your 0 in the ones place if you're like doing that. And then, of course, multiply by 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Bring down the 0. Carry the 3 over the 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 3 more is 15. Carry the 1. 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 1 more is 25. Add your two partial products. And the reason why they're called partial products is because the word partial, if you look at the root word of partial, it means part. So each of these two numbers that you got here are parts of a product. So therefore, 425 is part of a product or partial product. And 25,500 is also part of a product, which means we say that it is a partial product. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. 4 plus 5 is 9, and then bring down your 5 and 2. So your actual product ends up being 25,925. Is it close to 24,000? The answer is yes, it is. Now, another thing that I want to go back to and mention is that, remember, go back at the top right here. Okay, 425 is actually greater than 400, right? And 61 is actually greater than 60. So we say that since our estimates are less than your actual numbers, your estimation is going to be what we call an underestimate. And hopefully you remember that from yesterday's lesson, right? So I just wanted to bring that up. Another thing that I want to discuss here is that remember that 425 and 60 are what we call factors. And then the answer down here is what we call the product, or we can also call it a multiple. So let's play with our vocabulary words here. We say that 425 is a factor of 25,125, or we can also say that 61 is a factor of 25,925. If we start with a product first, we can say that 25,925 is a product of 61, and 25,925 is a product of or multiple of 425. Okay, let's go on. So we continue on to number 3. This time we're just going to move real quick through the problem, so just follow. Here we go. We estimate 951 to 1,000. And then 62, we're going to round it off to 60 because it's closer to that. This case, we ended up having an extra 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we put 4 zeros down. And then we multiply 6 times 1, which is 6. So our estimated product is 60,000. I'm going to get rid of that real quick so that way I can make my problem bigger and I can actually, or amplify my problem, maximizing, and or zoom in. And then we're just going to simply multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18. Plus 1 more is 19. There's a first partial product. I'm going to get rid of that 1 so that I don't use it again. And then I'm going to put my 0 in the 1's place to start off. And then I'm going to multiply by my 6 in the 10th place. 6 times 1 is 6 in the 10th place. Notice that, right? 6 times 5 is 30. Bring down the 3. 0. Carry the 3. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 3 more is 57. And another thing you gotta make sure that you do, you gotta learn your multiplication facts, guys. You can't do multiplication really well without knowing your facts. So bring down your 2. 6 plus 0 is 6, 9 plus 0 is 9, 7 plus 8 is 8, and you bring down your 5. So your actual answer here is 58,662. That's the actual product. And if you remember correctly, our estimation was 60,000. That's our estimation. So is it a reasonable answer? The answer is, yeah, 58,000 is close to 60,000. All right. So that's why we use estimation, guys, so that it can help us to understand if our answer, the actual product that we get, is close to our estimation. If our actual product is actually close to our estimation, then that means that we're doing our problem correctly. So from here on out, I'm just going to work on just the product, or multiplying the numbers, okay? So here we go. 5 times 5 is 25. Bring down the 5. Carry the 2. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus 2 more is 42. Carry the 4. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 4 that you carried is 9. Get rid of your regroup numbers up there at the top. And then we're going to continue. Let's go ahead and add a 0 in the 1's place to start up with, and then start multiplying. Now, notice you already multiplied by 5. So your product that you got was 925. So since you're multiplying by 5 again, why don't you just put the same number again? 925. Let's add our 2 partial products. 5 plus nothing is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. And 9 plus 1 equals 10. So there's your product, 10,175. Let me move on. I remember I'm moving faster now. So on number 5, we're going to skip number 5 and number 6 because I just want to make sure that we get into the practice of knowing how to multiply properly and getting our products. Now again, let me remind you this one more time. Remember that this is called a factor. and this is also a factor. And whatever we get as an answer, we will call it our product or multiple. Okay? All right, so let's get going. Let's go ahead and multiply. 0 times 1 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, and 0 times 4 is 0. There's your first partial product. Go ahead and put the 0 in the ones place to get started, and anything times 1 ends up being the same number. So 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 4 is 4. Add your two partial products. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1, 4 plus 5 is 9, and bring down the 4. So there's your product for that one. Okay, I have a feeling I did something wrong on that one. But let me just double check the math, just to be on the safe side. I know what I did wrong. 4 times 0 is 0. Here we go. My bad. So now I can add again, and this actually ends up being 4,510. All right, let's go on. Let's go ahead and go into number 8. And here we go. Let's make it let's zoom in a little bit higher on that one, so that way I can do the math. 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1. 8 times 9 is 17, plus 1 more is 18, carry the 1 in the hundreds place. And 8 times 8 is 64, plus 1 is 65. There's your first partial product. Let's get rid of those regrouped numbers at the top. And then, of course, hopefully, you already know that you put a 0 in the ones place. And anything times 1 is the same number. So I'm just going to put it down. It's 2, 9, and 8. Add your two partial products. 6 plus nothing is 6. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 plus 9 is 14. Plus 1 more is 15. Carry the 1. 6 plus 8 is 14. Plus 1 more is 15. So there's your product. 15,506. Let's double check that again. Let's see. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times carry the 1. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 1 more. There it is. Sorry guys, for some weird reason or another, I'm making a little bit of mistakes here, but let me check that again. Let me do it one more time. 8 times 2 is 16, carry the 1. And I believe this is where I made the mistake. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 1 is 73. There, carry the 7. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 7 more is 71. Get rid of those regroup numbers, and anything times 1 is the same number. But before we do that, let's put a 0 there, and then we can put our 2, 9, and 8. 6 plus nothing is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. 9 plus 1 is 10. Bring down the 0, carry the 1. And then 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. So there it is, finally. That's our actual multiple or product. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go on. Let's try number 9 again. Let's go over here. Let's go ahead and get going. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1 over the tens place. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. Carry the 1 in the hundreds place. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 more is 28. Get rid of those regroup numbers. And the reason why I get rid of them is because I don't want to use them again, and I don't want to make a mistake. So, once I use them, I cross them out. Now you're multiplying by 3 again, so it's going to give you the same partial product. But before you write the same partial product, put a 0 in the ones place, and then write everything else the same. Add. 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. Carry the 1. 8 plus 3 is 11. Plus 1 more is 12. Carry the 1. And then, of course, 2 plus 8 is 10. Plus 1 more is 11. Carry the 1 again. 2 plus 1 is 3. Bring down your we're done with that. So your product is actually 31,218. Let's continue. Let's go to number 10. And remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and rewind, right? Then double check your work. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 7 is 7. Okay, put your 0 in the ones place and start with your multiplying by 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Bring down the 0. Carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. Carry the 1. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 more is 29. And make sure you align your numbers carefully. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 is 3. 7 plus 4 is 1. Well, actually, it's 11. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So there's your multiple or product, 30,135. Remember, again, these two are what we call factors. And what is this called again? This is called a product or multiple. All right, let's move on. Let's try something challenging. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go to number 20. You can always work on the rest of them on your own, okay? So let's try number 20, 439 times 22. Hopefully it's challenging. All I'm gonna do is, since these problems are written sideways, I'm gonna first put them this way, vertically. 439 times 22. It's multiplied by 22, so that's not really hard. I mean, the 2's are easy to do. So 2 times 9 is 18. Carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 more is 7. 2 times 4 is 8. Now, you just multiply by 2, so you're about to multiply by 2 again, so you would expect for the next partial product to be the same. But just make sure you put a 0 in the ones place, and then you copy your partial product down. Exactly the same as the first one. 8 plus 0 is 8. 7 plus 8 is 15. Carry the 1. 8 plus 7 is 15. Plus 1 more is 16. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. So there's your multiple product. 9,658 is a product of 22 and 439. All right. Let's go ahead and go to we're going to do number 22. Number 22. Here we go. Let's go ahead and write it down vertically. Times 64. Your two factors right there. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2 in the tens place. 4 times 7 is 28. Plus 2 more is 30. Bring down the 0. Carry the 3. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 3 more is 19. Okay, get rid of those regrouped numbers so you don't use them again. Put your 0 in the ones place first. And then let's multiply by 6 now. 6 times 5 is 30. Bring down the 3. Bring down the 0. Carry the 3. 6 times 7 is 42. Plus 3 more is 45. Bring down the 5. Carry the 4. And then 6 times 4 is 24. Plus 4 more is 28. Be careful. Make sure you align your numbers carefully. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 1 more that you carried is 10. Break down the 0. Carry the 1. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. Put your comma where it belongs. And then your product ends up being 30,400 for that one. Okay. Now remember, you can always use Photomath if you want to check your math problems. Just don't make sure you don't use Photomath first and then check by working it out. Always work it out first and then check your math with Photomath or a calculator if you like. That doesn't bother me, right? Okay, let's move on. So let's go ahead and go to number 21 on the next page. And number 21, it says, which expression shows a total number of heartbeats in 1 hour for a dog and a rabbit? Well, let's see. Are we looking at the right one? That's number 23, right? So on this one, we are going to say that, well, let's see how many rabbits do we have. Let's look at the table first before we do anything, right? It says, remember, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So the table is saying that the animal on the left, and then on the right side, right column, says the heartbeat, the beats per minute. So this one says that the dog's heart rate is 100 beats per minute. The gerbil's heart rate is 360 beats per minute, and the rabbit's heartbeat is 212 beats per minute. So now that we know that, and by the way, that's what we call analyzing and interpreting the data. Analyzing means look at something closely, or the table, and interpreting means try and understand what it's trying to tell you, right? So in this case, all I can see is that I can say that the gerbil has the highest heart rate per minute, and the dog is the one that has the lowest heart rate per minute. Okay, that's the interpretation. That's what it's trying to tell me. So it says, which expression shows the total number of heartbeats in 1 hour for a dog and a rabbit? Well, remember that the dog's heartbeat is 100 beats per minute, right? Well, that's just 1 minute though. How many minutes are there in an hour? Well, there's 60, right? So if you wanted to know how many beats, and if I were to set up a table to show you that, this would say the this would be the minutes, MIN for minutes, and then over here would be the heart rate. I'll just put heart. In 1 minute, remember that it says that it's the dog's heart beats 100. Well, in 2, it would be 200, right? Because it's 100 plus 100, or you could multiply 2 times 100. Well, it wants to know what the heart rate of the dog would be in 1 hour. Well, that means that since there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, I would have to get 60 minutes and multiply it times 100, because that's the heart rate of the dog. And of course, you guessed it, if you do the trick, you got 3 extra zeros, 1, 2, and 3, and you multiply 1 times 6, that gives you 6,000. So that's the dog's heart rate. 6,000 heartbeats per hour in that case, or 60 minutes. And then of course you would do the same thing for the rabbit. The rabbit, let me go ahead and set up a table over here on this side. Same thing, M for minute, H for heart rate. Remember that the rabbit's heartbeat in 1 minute is 212 beats. So we don't want it for 1 minute, we want it for 60 minutes. So what do? Well, we multiply 60 times 212, and that should give us our answer, right? So which of those number sentences would help us to come up with the best answer here? Well, the answer is what we just did. The answer is letter C. 60 times 100 would give me the heartbeat of the dog, and then 60 times 212 would give me the heartbeat of the rabbit. Add your two products there, and then that would give you your answer of, if I am not mistaken, if I already did my math correctly, it's 18,720 heartbeats per hour for both animals. All right, let's move on. Number 24, it says the 5th grade class of Monticello Middle School sold more bags of popcorn than any other class. They ordered 17 cases of popcorn. Each case had 242 bags. And then the question says, let me go ahead and underline that. It says, how many bags of popcorn did the class sell? Well, I want to know the bags sold, right? Well, remember, each case had 242 bags, right? And then it also said, I'm sorry, that's a case. There are 17 cases. And of course, that would take me forever to draw all of them, but let's say that those are 17 cases. And it says that each case has 242 bags. This is 242, 242, 242, 242, until you get to the 17th case. You can choose to either add all of these numbers together, 242 plus 242 plus 242, 242, until you get to 17 cases, or you can just wisely multiply a 3-digit number, 242, times a 2-digit number, which is 17, right? So let's go ahead and do that. It's a lot easier. 7 times 2 is 14. Bring down the 4. Carry the 1. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 1 more is 29. Carry the 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 2 more is 15. There's your first partial product. Let's get rid of those regroup numbers. And of course, anything times 1 gives you the same number. So before we put that same number up there, let's put a 0 down here in the ones place. And then copy down the 2, the 4, and the 2. Align your numbers. 4 plus nothing is 4. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 5 plus 4 equals 9 plus 1 more is 10. Bring down the 0. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 1 more is 4. So there is your answer. And I have a feeling that I messed up somewhere here. All right, let me double check my math just to be on the safe side. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. There it is. 7 times 8 is 28. Plus 1 more is 29. Carry the 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 2 is plus 2 is, there it is. It's 16, not 15. Hello. So now if I correct my two partial product sum, 4 plus 0 is 4. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus 1 more is 11. So there's the mistake. So your answer, and then of course you add 2 plus 1, which is 3 plus 1 more is 4. So your actual product is 4,114, right? All right. So there we go with that. And let's go ahead and go on to number 25. It says, is 3,198 a reasonable product of 727 times 44? Yes or no? Well, to avoid don't going through the entire process, I'm just going to give you the product, and the product is 16,150. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, that's not correct. I'm looking at the wrong one. So 25 again is 725 times 44. And of course, if you multiply there, your actual product actually ends up being 31,988. Well, you tell me, is that anywhere near close to 3,198? The answer is no. This is not reasonable whatsoever. I mean, that number is way off. Somebody did a really bad mistake when they multiplied that 3-digit times a 2-digit number there. Okay, let's go on to number 26. Number 26, we're supposed to come up with an estimation. It says the length of the Nile River is in Africa is about 14 times the length of the Lake Michigan. So what they're saying here is that if I could draw that length right there 14 times, that would be how long the Nile River would be, right? So it says about how many miles is the Nile River? Well, about tells me to estimate. So it's 307, which is the length of the Lake Michigan. And it says that Nile River is 14 times greater than that. So I multiply. We're going to estimate here because it says about. And we're going to round off 307 to 300 because it's closer to 307 is 200, closer to 300. And then, of course, 14, we're going to round it off to 10. Multiply that, and you are going to get about 3,000. Or if you want to use, we'll just leave it like that. So 300 times 10, it's going to be, the Nile River is going to be about 3,000 miles long. All right. Remember, we're multiplying 14 times greater than 307. All right. All right, let's go on. And we're going to try number 27. Each store received a shipment of 38 TVs valued at $425 each. What is the total value of the shipment? Well, the keyword here is we're looking for a total. So that tells me that not only can I add, but also I can multiply. And remember, there's 38 TVs. Each one's 425, so that's one TV. There's another TV, 425. Another TV for $425. And of course, you can do that all the way to the 38th TV. So that tells us to multiply the 3-digit number times a 2-digit number. If we do our products correctly, we should be able to get it right. 8 times 5 is 40. Carry the 4. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 2 more is 34. Get rid of those regroup numbers. And then let's put a 0 in the ones place. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. Sorry about that, guys. And 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. And 3 times 4 is 12. Add your two partial products. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1 more carried is 6. And then bring down your 1. So your total amount that the shipment is valued is $16,150. Okay, let's move on. Number 26. It says a garden store sells plants in flats. There are 6 plants in each tray. Each flat has 6 trays. The garden store sold 18 flats on Saturday and 21 flats on Sunday. How many plants did the garden store sell in all? Well, since it wants me to find out how many they sold in all, and that's the key right there, I can choose to either add or multiply. Well, since I do have groups and a number in each group here, I can choose to multiply. This is actually a combination of two operations, adding and multiplying. Let me show you how real quick. Let me give myself enough space here. And I'm going to move this up so that I can write that down. And I'm going to draw it out first, okay? So it says that there are 6 plants in each tray. Here's one tray. You have 6 plants there, right? And it says each flat has 6 trays. Well, I don't know what in the world a flat is, to be honest with you, but I'm just going to say this is one flat, and it says that there are 6 trays. So there are my 6 trays right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another one. But don't forget, each tray has 6 plants in it. So you got one tray right? So you got one flat with 6 trays, and each tray has 6 plants, right? So how many plants does each flat have? Well, the way you figure that out is multiply 6 times 6, which gives you 36. So you would say that there are 36 plants in one flat. I'm trying to visualize this. And then it says the garden store sold 18 flats. Oh, so if one flat has 36 plants, then what would I have to do to find out for 18 of those flats? Right, there are all of these flats, and each one has 36 flowers in each. Well, I'm not going to draw 36 flats because that would take forever, but I can actually choose to multiply 18 times 36, and that would give me the number of plants in 18 flats, and that's the amount of flats that they sold only on Saturday. They sold 21 flats on Sunday, so we know that if there are 21 flats and there are 36 plants in each flat, we can multiply again 21 times 36. And then what do we do with those two products right there? We can add them and find the sum of the products. So let's go through the math. I'm going to do 18 times 36 down here. 6 times 8 is 48. Carry the 4. And then, of course, 6 times 1 is 6 plus 4 more is 10. Put your 0 in the ones place, right? And then, of course, 3 times 8 is 24. Bring down the 4. Carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 more is 5. Add. And then you get 648 for the 18 flats. 648 plants in the 18 flats. Let's try and figure out the plants in the 21 flats. 21 times 36. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Put your 0 in the ones place. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Add your two partial products. 6 plus nothing is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. And 6 plus 1 is 7. Now all you have to do is add your two products there. I'm going to do it on the side over here because I'm running out of space. 648 plus 756. Align your numbers carefully. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry the 1 in the tens place. 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 1 more is 10. Carry the 1 in the hundreds place. 6 plus 7 is 13 plus 1 more is 14. So therefore, in all of your flats, you would have a total of 1,404 plants in all the flats. Okay, now is that the only way you can solve this problem? No. What you could have done is you could have also added 18 plus 21 flats, which ends up giving you, if I do my math correctly, 39 flats. And then you could have multiplied 39 flats times 36 plants in all of those flats, right? In each flat. And that would have still given you 1,404 plants. So, all right, guys, that'll do it for now. Hopefully you understood. Bye-bye.